The Philadelphia 76ers were an NBA team that was projected to be at least a top 3 team in the East, right? Just looking at it from a talent standpoint, you had Tyrese Maxey coming off a career best 26 points and 6 assists per game. Joel Embiid also coming off a career best 35 points per game to go along with 11 rebounds. And now you add in Paul George, who was averaging 22.6 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game in the 23-24 season. That's over 83 points combined between the three last year. Everything looked great. Philly needed a reliable, consistent scoring third option that could coexist with Embiid and Maxey the way they envisioned Tobias Harris would, and PG has been a known player to comfortably coexist with other stars and make his contributions without being ball dominant, looking at how he messed with Danny Granger on the Pacers, Russ on the Thunder, and Kawhi on the Clippers. With them finally moving on from Tobias Harris and adding in PG right when Maxey is seemingly entering his prime, and Embiid pissed and motivated to win for constantly getting clowned about never making it past the first round, it seemed like the perfect fit at just the perfect time. But fast forward to now, the 76ers are the 12th seed in the weaker Eastern Conference. They have a record of 22-43, and after just a little more than half the season, they are already looking to move their newly acquired Paul George elsewhere. On top of this, it was just reported that the NBA is investigating Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel Embiid for missing games. How did such a seemingly picture-perfect situation turn into such a nightmare? And how should they try and get themselves out of this situation? Let's get into it. Firstly, the obvious issue is quote-unquote injuries, and I think that goes without saying. Paul George has missed 24 games, and Joel Embiid has missed 46 games at the time of this recording. This mid-3 trio has only played 15 games together, and I said quote-unquote injuries because these guys seem to care a lot less about actually playing ball and more about anything other than that. Embiid may go on a stretch where he casually drops 30 points and 10 rebound games back to back to back before magically copping a new injury and missing an even longer stretch. Regardless, he still does cartwheels and sits peacefully on the sidelines knowing that his bag is secured. Paul George, on the other hand, has become a full-time podcaster and part-time player. Despite averaging 6 less points and shooting 5% worse from 3, 6% worse from the field, and 10% worse from the line this season compared to his last season, Paul George has still been consistently uploading videos to his growing YouTube channel. He even had the nerve to say before the season he would wear the number 8 on the Sixers out of admiration and respect for Kobe Bryant. Well, considering how this season's been going and how George hasn't been locked in for the majority of it, it's safe to say Kobe would not be proud. So the main issues here are not just injuries, but mentality. 2 of the 3 stars look less than interested to even play. It's hard to give Embiid the benefit of the doubt anymore when his name comes across my feed next to the word injured. He even stated before he made his season debut that he probably won't ever play in back-to-back games for the rest of his career. When a team's best player has this kind of a mindset, it can really set the tone for that team. This year, the Sixers are 20th or lower in team points, rebounds, assists, blocks, field goals made, field goal percentage, 3-pointers made, 3-point percentage, and true shooting percentage. I know for most of the season they've been down their main star, but Tyrese Maxey has played in all but 12 games, and PG has played in over 40. You would think the Sixers as a team would still rank a lot better in at least some of these categories, but again, the energy, the effort, and the body language say it all. They know they have virtually nothing to fight for at this point, and they're just ready for the season to be over with. So how can this franchise turn things around looking ahead of next year? In my opinion, I think rebuilding is the only way to go at this point. Believe it or not, as new as Joel Embiid may seem, he's been in the NBA for over a decade. He seems relatively new because he's missed nearly half of all possible games in his career. Honestly, I feel like it's time for the Sixers to move on and trade Embiid for another big name or a lot of picks. Based on reports I mentioned earlier, they're already taking steps in what my next recommendation is, which is to move PG. Even if PG can thrive somewhere else, he's 34 years old, and he was brought to this team for the sole purpose of being a reliable, consistent scoring, efficient third option, which he's been anything but this season. But you still have Tyrese Maxey, who's only 24, as a proven top point guard running your team.
3 from Maxey.
You have rookie Jared McCain, who's looking like the steal of the 2024 draft. You have 24-year-old Quentin Grimes, who's been balling this year and having his best season so far. And Kelly Oubre, who's under 30 but still a vet in terms of playoff experience. The 76ers can rebuild through quality trades in NBA drafts, which is pretty much how they rebuilt in the first place when they got Ben Simmons alongside Joel Embiid. So yes, the 76ers are in a bad situation, but there's always a way out. May not be easy, but it's most likely the best thing to do at this point. So there you have it. That wraps up this video. I thank you for listening to the very end. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what platform you're on. Make sure you're being notified. Hit the notification bell and stay tuned for more episodes. This is Jay the Bass, and I'm out.